We got a doozy in Loser Donald tonight. Washington Post doing some reporting on his foundation, the Trump Foundation, which is the so-called charity. And wait till you get to the end of this story, because it only gets worse and worse and worse as we go along. Let me start by this general explanation. They say the Donald J. Trump Foundation is not like other charities. An investigation of the foundation, including examinations of 17 years of tax filings and interviews with more than 200 individuals or groups listed as donors or beneficiaries, found that it collects and spends money in a very unusual manner. For one thing, nearly all of its money comes from people other than Trump. In tax records, the last gift from Trump was in 2008. Since then, all the donations have been other people's money, an arrangement that experts say is almost unheard of for a family foundation. I'm going to give you context into other family foundations in a second. But Mr. Trump, who loves to go around saying, "Oh, I'm Mr. Trump. I give money to veterans and to different charities. I'm so great." You know how much he's given to charity since 2008? Zero. Nothing. Nada, if you will. Nothing from Donald Trump personally to the Trump Foundation. The guy's a total fraud. Okay. When the Washington Post asked him, "Hey, we can't find, help us. We can't find a single record of you giving a dime to your Trump Foundation, all this charity that you brag about. Help us find those records so we can give you credit." Then if you're right, by all means, no, we'll say, "Oh my God, here's the millions of dollars he gave to all these worthy causes." When asked for that, Trump said, quote, "I don't have to give you records." You know who says that? Someone who doesn't have any records of charitable giving. Okay. Now, here's some more details. The charity, and here's the context. The most money that it has ever reported having was $3.2 million at the end of 2009. At last count, the total has shrunk to $1.3 million. By comparison, Oprah Winfrey, who is worth $1.5 billion less than Trump, according to a Forbes magazine estimate, has a foundation with $242 million in the bank. And at the end of 2014, the Clinton Foundation had $440 million in assets. See, those are real charities. Now, there are other issues with the Clinton Foundation. I've talked about it on the show. And yes, I'm worried about how the donors to the Clinton Foundation are getting access to Hillary Clinton back at the State Department, maybe as the president. But at least they do actual charitable work. There's 2,000 people who work there, and they give away $250 million every year. Donald Trump runs this Trump Foundation like he does with almost every business, as a scam, as a way to puff himself up, but in reality, not to do any giving, certainly not from his own pocket. And by the way, to be fair to Trump, they say, well, Oprah Winfrey is worth $1.5 billion less than Trump, and she still gives away hundreds of millions of dollars. Donald Trump is nowhere near as rich as Oprah Winfrey. He can't be as charitable as Oprah Winfrey or the Clintons because he doesn't have as much money. Yes, he's a cheapskate. Yes, he's a bad person who wouldn't give the money even if he had it, but he's not worth anywhere near $1 billion. Can you imagine being worth $10 billion as he claims, but you give nothing to charity? I mean, which one is worse? Him lying about what a billionaire he is? Or if he's actually telling the truth and he's got that much money and he won't give any of his own personal money to any causes that he brags about? What a piece of crap, okay? Look, if you don't think so, you think, oh, no, if I had $10 billion, I wouldn't give anything to anybody else either. Okay, well, then you're a bad person too. Okay, so now a description of one of the instances where he's doing so-called charity, it gives you an excellent view into how he does this. It says, they explain Donald Trump was in a tuxedo standing next to his award, a statue of a palm tree as tall as a toddler. It was 2010 and Trump was being honored by a charity, the Palm Beach Police Foundation, for his selfless support of its cause. His support did not include any of his own money. Instead, Trump had found a way to give away somebody else's money and claim the credit for himself. Textbook Donald Trump, by the way. Trump had earlier gone to a charity in New Jersey, the Charles Evans Foundation, named for a deceased businessman, and asked for a donation. Trump said he was raising money for the Palm Beach Police Foundation. The Evans Foundation said yes. In 2009 and 2010, it gave a total of $150,000 to the Donald J. Trump Foundation, a small charity that the Republican presidential nominee founded in 1987. Then Trump's foundation turned around and made donations to the police group in South Florida. In those years, the Trump's foundation's gifts totaled $150,000. Exactly what he had gotten from the Charles Evans Foundation. After a couple of years of this, the Charles Evans Foundation got wind of what was happening, and they're like, you know what? We'll just do our own donations going forward. There's no need for us to funnel it through you. And I don't know that they're seeking any credit for it, but they're like, I don't know why you're taking all the credit for our money, because that's who he is. He's a con artist. Okay, now, it turns out of that particular con, he might have even made money. Okay, he's from the Washington Post. On the night that he won the Palm Tree Award for his philanthropy, Trump may have actually made money. The gala was held at his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, and the police foundation paid to rent the room. Now, they explain it's unclear how much was paid in 2010, but the police foundation reported in its tax filings that it rented Mar-a-Lago in 2014 for $276,463. Okay, now let me be super clear about that. So we don't know how much they paid in 2010, but they did pay something in 2010. So Donald Trump takes money, $150,000 from Charles Evans Foundation, gives it to the $150,000 to those guys, and then charges them rent. He's such a bad guy. And to give you context for how much that rent could be, that same police foundation in the year 2014, a different year, paid as much as $276,000. If you're such a charitable guy, Donald Trump, why do you keep charging them rent? It's like they don't stay there the whole time. They come to do events. They come to do events to raise money for their charity. And you're charging them $276,000 in 1 year alone? Because you're a bad guy. You don't care about charity. You don't care about the police. You don't care about any of these things. All you care about is me, gimme, 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 gimme. You think he's scamming those guys, but not scamming you, right? All the Trump supporters, you're positive you're the one guy that he's not going to scam. Okay, it gets worse. In 4 other cases, the Post found charities that said they never received donations that the Trump Foundation said it gave them. The amounts were small, $10,000 in 2008, $5,000 in 2010, $10,000 in 2012. Most of the charities had no idea that Trump had said he had given them money. You know why? Because he's a notorious liar. That's why. Okay, it continues to get worse. He sometimes did it for his own political benefit. Money from the Trump Foundation has also been used for political purposes, which is against the law. The Washington Post reported this month that Trump paid a penalty this year to the Internal Revenue Service for a 2013 donation in which the foundation gave $25,000 to a campaign group affiliated with Florida Attorney General Pamela Bondi. Now, you might have heard about that story because she sent a note to Donald Trump saying, I'm thinking of investigating Trump University. He sends her a check for $25,000, not out of his own pocket, because God forbid Donald Trump actually pay for anything. He gets his charity. People presumably gave money to that charity thinking they were going to help the poor, the needy, the sick, whoever, the police, the firemen. No, he used it as his personal piggy bank. You think Donald Trump pays that fine if he didn't actually do it? He paid the fine because he did it. But my favorite, we'll end on this. In 2 cases, he has used money from his charity to buy himself a gift. In one of those cases, not previously reported, Trump spent $20,000 of money earmarked for charitable purposes to buy a 6-foot-tall painting of himself. Wow. The ego has landed. $20,000. People gave that money thinking that it was going to go to charity. He used it to buy a 6-foot-tall painting of himself. When asked, where's that painting now? Where's the other gift you kept for yourself? That's a Tim Tebow helmet that he signed. Trump's like, yeah, have the charity pay for it. Yeah, I'll take it. Where are they? Now, if they had actually gone to a different charity, or maybe that 6-foot-tall picture of yourself somehow helped the poor or the needy, well, you could just tell us, and then we'd go, oh, wow, you're right, our bad. He says, no, I don't have to give you anything. You know why? Because he kept it. Because he's an egomaniac. You want to support this guy? Have at it, Hoss. But don't say you weren't warned. This guy's a professional con artist, and you're his next mark. There's so much more Young Turks content if you're a member of TYT. Old School, Aggressive Progressives, those are all new shows. You get Postgame where we talk about our personal lives a little bit more. And then you've got live interviews. It's all ad-free, plus you get the whole 2-hour show. I know what you're thinking.
This is huge.
And it kind of is. TYTnetwork.com/join to become a member today.